All right, we're at 1.6, solving compound inequalities. This is the last video of chapter 1. So this section is pretty easy. Hopefully you remember it from last year. Most students do. Think about a compound sentence in English class is when you join two sentences together with and, or, but, different words like that to join two sentences to make a compound sentence. So now a compound inequality consists of two inequalities joined by the word and or. So you're going to see that quite often, those and or. You must solve each part of the inequality. The graph of the compound inequality with the ands are called intersections of the two. And you'll see once we graph some of the ands versus the ors, how their graphs look different. So the and ones are super fun. I like to drop two separator lines down from the inequality symbols to separate it into a left, right, and middle. So we focus on the middle. We have 3y minus 7 in the center. We want to get the y by itself there. So we have to add 7. And we have to do that 3 times, to the left, to the center, to the right. So this is now 15 on the left, less than 3y in the middle, less than or equal to 30. And then my goal is to get the coefficient of a 3 away from the y, so we're going to divide all 3 by 3. And this becomes 5 is smaller than y is smaller than or equal to 10. So this is our compound inequality answer. This is an intersection. And what this means is y represents a number that is in between 5 and 10. And so you need those two numbers to show up on your number line, as well as representing all the numbers that are in between that. So I'm going to have my number line here. We'll say this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll go to 13. So from yesterday's lesson, the symbol less than or equal to is going to give you a closed circle because you can include that. The strictly less than is going to be an open circle. So I need an open circle on 5, but a closed one on 10. And I want to represent the numbers. Y's in the middle, so it's everything in between. So it kind of looks like a dumbbell, like a weightlifter. I think of this as being a sandwich. You have the 5 and the 10 being the pieces of bread. Your y is all the toppings or peanut butter and jelly or whatever you like inside the two end pieces. So we'll do 2 more quick examples here. 1a, again, I'm going to drop my little divider lines, focus on the middle. My first step is subtracting 8 3 times. So this is going to be negative 20 is smaller than or equal to 4x is smaller than or equal to 24. Focus on the center, 4x. I need to divide all 3 pieces by a 4. You get negative 5 is smaller than or equal to an x is smaller than or equal to a 6. So that is your 3-part answer. Now this needs to go from a negative 5 to a positive 6. And you can skip count as well. I think I'm going to skip count by 2s. So that's 6. We'll say this is 4, 2, 0, negative 2. That's not going to fit here. Let me try that again. So we'll say 6, 4, 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8. Okay. So these are both included endpoints. So you can include a negative 5, which is about here. So that's a closed circle. And closed on 6. And it's everything in between. 1b, same thing. Drop the divider lines. Focus on the center. I want to take away 2 from the middle. So now I'm going to do the opposite and add 2. Left, right, center. This is negative 3 is greater than or equal to z is greater than or equal to negative 12. And I forgot my 3. Okay. Now divide all 3 steps by 3. left, right, middle. You get negative 1 is greater than or equal to z is greater than negative 4. And notice how your signs are facing the other direction. Most of the time they're less thans or less than or equal to's. This one's greater than. If I want to switch this all around, you could rearrange it. So the negative 4 is going to be kind of like least to greatest with the z in the center. Now I'm going to flip everything. So the z had to be bigger than negative 4 and also less than or equal to negative 1. So I'm going to focus on graphing it with this answer here. So I need to go from negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So it's going to be an open circle on negative 4, a closed circle on negative 1, because you can include that endpoint and everything in between. So all the and statements look similar. 2 endpoints, open or closed circles with everything in the middle. Now let's look at the or statements. The ors are called the unions of two things together. So this doesn't mean you get a choice to solve the first one or the second one, okay? You have to solve both, but you just put both solutions on the same graph, and we'll see what those look like. So this first one, you're going to subtract 6, so k is smaller than negative 10. You have to write the word or down for your second solution, and this one divide by 3, so k is greater than or equal to 14 thirds, but we're going to put that on the number line, which is 4 2/3. So this is your solution. K can be something that's smaller than negative 10 to satisfy that one, or it could be bigger than or equal to 4 2/3. So we need to put both of these on the same number line. So we're going to have negative 10 over here, negative 8, negative 6, we'll count by 2's, negative 4, negative 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. The first one is going to have an open circle on negative 10, and it represents all the solutions that are smaller than it, so that's pointing to the left. The second solution has a closed circle on 4 2/3, so it's about here, but it includes everything bigger than or equal to that. So notice how these are two arrows pointing in opposite directions. So I think if you're on your canoe or kayak, you're rowing your boat with your 2 oars, it's on the left and it's on the right. So it's not everything in the middle this time. So let's look at 2 more. So 5j is greater than or equal to 15. So one step, solve, divide by 5. J is greater than or equal to a 3. Make sure you write down the word or. And this one, once divided by a negative 3. Remember, when we divide by a negative, the sign flips. So this is less than or equal to negative 7. So we have to graph both of those. So I'm going to have 3, 2, 1. Count by 2's there. The first one, j is greater than or equal to a 3, means a closed circle on a 3 pointing to the right. The next one, j is smaller than or equal to negative 7, is a closed circle above negative 7 pointing left. So again, here's your 2 oars, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. All right, and the last one I'm going to do, add 6, left and right. You get g is greater than negative 5. Again, write down the word or for this one. Here's a 2-step, so we're going to subtract 4 first. 2g is less than negative 19. Divide by 2. So g is smaller than negative 9.5. So your answer is these 2 pieces. So I need negative 9.5 and a negative 5 to show up on my number line. So we'll say that's negative 5, negative 7, negative 9, negative 11 there. So the first one, G is greater than negative 5. So that's an open circle above negative 5 pointing right. And G is smaller than negative 9.5. Would be an open circle on negative 9.5, which is about there, and pointing left. So again, two arrows facing out, rowing that boat.